Hi guys, and welcome back to a new video. Today we're going to be picking my May TBR. However, I normally just go off like what the vibes are at the moment and just pick books that way. However, I've got so many books on my TBR at the moment. If you haven't watched my physical TBR video, go and watch that, and I've accumulated more books since then. But this month, because I don't know what I want to read, I'm going to do TBR jar picks my reads. So I've got 20 prompts in here that I just found online or on Pinterest or that kind of thing, and just so I've got a mixture of them, and we're going to be using this to pick my reads for May. I'm going to pick 6 out because I feel like that's relatively around the amount that I read for the month, and I probably will do a bit of mood reading because I am a massive mood reader, so we're just going to go with that and see what we get. So I'm just going to jump straight in because I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory today. Okay, so let's pick. I'm going to pick a prompt and then find a book and then pick another one. So let's pick our first prompt. Oh, one's fell out, but I have actually picked one up, so just put that one back in. Oh, I've picked 2. Let's go with that one. A book that starts with the first letter of the month. So because it's my May TBR, I'm going to do one that starts with the letter M. Also, my bookshelf is not like in a order that you like. I don't have a separate section for books that I haven't read yet. They're just all on the same thing. M. What options do I have? So I have Magnolia Parks Into the Dark. I'll have My Dark Romeo, which I do want to read. What have I got at the back of here? Or I have Maggie Moves On, but that's not like top of my priority right now. What do I have behind here? Series. So it's either gonna have to be Magnolia Parks Into the Dark, or what was the other one that I just said? Or My Dark Romeo. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. We're gonna go with My Dark Romeo for this month. However, there is another prompt in here that's like a book by 2 authors, and I think this is the only one that I have that's by 2 authors, so if that comes up I'm gonna have to pick another prompt, but I think I'm gonna go with My Dark Romeo for our first book. Prompt number 2. This one. A book that you meant to read last year. My gosh, what a selection. Let me look. So I've got One Italian Summer, The X Talk, X's and O's, Cleopatra and Frankenstein, The Silent Patient, A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime. That's quite a chunky book. What else do I have that I was meant to read last year? Powerless, maybe, by Elsie Silver. I could go with that one because I do quite want to read that one. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that because I've been in the mood to read that. So I was meant to finish the whole Chestnut Spring series last year and did not do that. So we're going to go with Powerless by Elsie Silver for our second book on my May TBR, because I did really want to finish this series last year and didn't get around to it. So our third prompt. Oh, I think 2's come out, right. A book with yellow on the cover. I know exactly what book I'm going to pick for this. I was hoping I was going to get that one. I'm going to go with All In, which is the third book in the Natural series because I'm desperate to continue / finish this series. So yeah, I'm going to pick this one, book number 3. So that is All In by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. That was an easy pick for the third one. I was so hoping that I was going to get that prompt because I know exactly what book I'm going to pick. A fourth one. A book that ends in an odd number of pages. Oh my gosh, okay. Let me think of like some ones that I'd actually want to read for May. So I want to read like a Frida McFadden one. I'm thinking, do we want to... I literally have 4 Freedom and Fathom books here, so let me just check if any of them finish in an odd number of pages. Yeah, so this one ends in 323, which is the Inmate, so that one ends in an odd number of pages. Okay, this one's 294, so that one doesn't really end in an odd number of pages. What about Never Lie? This is the epilogue, that's 296 again, so that doesn't end in an odd number of pages. What about The Housemaid? Because I was actually recently gifted this book. Epilogue. No, 328. Okay, so it's gonna have to be the Inmate, I think. I think I'm just gonna go with the Inmate for that one. Again, there are other prompts in here, like I was either gonna pick like a Frida book or like I really want to read The Fake Out, but I don't know if does that end in an odd number of pages. That ends in, okay, that ends in 419. Right, it's between The Fake Out and the Inmate. I really don't know which one to read. I'm gonna go with the Inmate, I think, because I'm in a like thrillery mood, so we'll come back to that one. Prompt number 5. Oh, okay, that's the book by multiple authors one, so I don't have any other books apart from My Dark Romeo, so I'm just actually going to leave that one there and pick another prompt out. Or a Goodreads winner in 2023. What I'm going to do is I will come back to this one. I will look on Goodreads and I'll come back and pick one in a minute, but I'll pick another prompt first and we'll do that as our last prompt. And I'll look at which one's a Goodreads winner. What's this one? Okay, a popular book. So that could literally be anything. So what do I want to read? Got like the, oh, I know exactly what one I want to read. I was gonna pick a romance, but then I was like, fantasy has popped in here. So, oh, now which one? Either A Court of Wings and Ruin or Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I think I might pick Powerless because I'm probably going to end up reading A Court of Wings and Ruin anyway, as well as my TBR, but I think I'm going to pick Powerless by Lauren Roberts because I've been desperate to read this book and it's so popular and so many people want to read it, or so many people have read it and gave it a great review, and yeah, I think that's the one that I want to read. And Powerful has just come out, so I want to read that one too, but obviously I need to read this one first. So yeah, our 5th book is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. Now I'm just going to go and quickly look at what the Goodreads winners were, and then I'll come back and see whether I've got any of those on my TBR. I've just had a quick scroll on the Goodreads winners from last year. Now there obviously are some really good books on there, however I only have one on my TBR that like was on there that I haven't read and that I actually physically own, and that is Fourth Wing. So that's gonna have to be a book because that's the only one I've got. So I'm going to put Fourth Wing on our list to read. I've literally just bought this book as well, so that's very lucky, otherwise I literally would not have had any, because Happy Place is on there but I've read Happy Place. Yellow Face is on there and I do really want to read that, but I don't own that book actually, and I'm trying to get down my physical TBR, so I didn't want to purchase another book. And the other one was Checkmate, that was on there but I've already read that. So Fourth Wing was the only book that was on there that I have got to read, so yeah, I'm going to put that one on my TBR. So we've picked all of our books now, so I'm just going to do a quick rundown so you kind of know what we've got for May. Oh, we have like a good selection. I feel like we actually have 2 romance, 2 mystery / thriller and 2 fantasy, so that's actually really fun. So the first one we have is My Dark Romeo by Parker S. Huntington and A.J. Shen. So I'm really excited to read this one. I've literally just recently picked it up, but this cover is stunning apart from this annoying little fake sticker that's in the corner. I actually don't know too much about it, but I think it's kind of like a Romeo and Juliet retelling in a different way. I don't know if it's modern day or not, I have absolutely no idea, but I'm very excited to read this. Then we have Powerless by Elsie Silver. I've literally been wanting to read for so long and just kept putting it off or not getting around to it, but I'm really in the mood for it now and to finish the Chestnut Springs series, so we're finally going to get to this book. And it's like a hockey romance, so yeah, very excited. We then have All In by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, which is the third book in the Natural series. I've read Killer Instinct in April and then The Naturals in March, so I've read one book a month at the moment for this series, and I'm so desperate to finish it, and I do have the last one as well, so very excited to read this one. Kind of just, yeah, excited to be back in the Naturals world. I just love it so much. If you don't know, it's like a Criminal Minds type book. Then the next book we have is The Inmate by Frida McFadden, which is a thrillery type book set in a prison. So essentially there's a nurse practitioner and she's told, like, don't get friendly with the inmates, don't release personal information, that kind of stuff, but it turns out that one of the inmates is actually her childhood sweetheart or someone that she was with at school or something like that. I think he's gone in there for like some gruesome murders or something, and it was her testimony that got him arrested, so that sounds very interesting and I want to know what's going on there. Then we have Powerless by Lauren Roberts, which I have been desperate to read for so long, and I'm going to finally get around to it because I want to know what all the hype is about. And when I watched Sarah Caroli's reading vlog where she was like finding a 5-star read, and this one was in there, she was reading out some quotes from the book and it just had me like kicking my feet. It was just, yeah, so good. So I'm very excited to read this, and obviously I then want to read Powerful, which has recently come out, so very excited about that one. And then the final book that we have is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, and I don't really know too much about this. I know it's a fantasy, I know there's dragons, I think there's a type of like school that they have to go to, and I believe there's like a subplot of romance, so all of that sounds good to me, and I'm just going to dive in and see what's going on in there. I'm currently in my fantasy era, so I feel like now's the right time to be reading it. I was thinking that there might be more like summery type reads this month, but the weather here in the UK is still terrible, so it's still giving autumn vibes. So I'm just gonna carry on reading my fantasy and my thrillers and everything until the weather improves outside, and then I'll be in my summer romancy era, but that is not quite yet. But those are all the books that we're going to go through in this video and what I'm going to read in May. Sometimes I deviate from a TBR, sometimes I just don't get round to it, but yeah, you'll see at the end of May when I do my reading wrap up. But those are all the books that are on my TBR, and those are all the books that we're going to go through. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you in another one really soon. Bye!